Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Montana. And people have been asking about my builds and stuff, so I've been trying to throw the builds at the front of the video because people think that I don't know. People just always ask because God knows you can't go back and look at any of my videos to find the builds. But that being said, here you go. The build for my Montana. And Montana's just going to be out here doing what Montana does, despite looking like an absolute, ridiculous monstrosity. I don't even know what to call this. Kind of looks like a crocodile or something at the front, but then the back kind of looks like the front. Like, I don't know how to call it. It's kind of weird, ain't gonna lie. But it's kind of cool at the same time, so I don't hate it. But yeah, anyway, we're on Haven, and it's a lobby full of cruisers, so there's not a lot of damage to be had in this one. But we're going to do everything we can to absolutely punish everybody that's dumb enough to give me a broadside. And don't worry, there will be plenty. So, let's get this party started, shall we? As we push towards this left flank, I want you to pay attention to what our destroyer does. Now, we have one destroyer in the entire lobby, right? Why is it that well, I say we got one. We got two destroyers. There's one per flank, right? But why is it that destroyer players just can't figure out that, like, at the beginning of the game, if you go forward and spot, you catch a lot of broadsides. You want to get some easy spotted damage for a destroyer player? You want to get a little bit of easy spotted damage? Just go forward and spot at the beginning of the match. Most of the time, they're going to be broadsides, and your team will reward you because everybody's going to be loaded. Everybody's waiting. But I digress. Our destroyer comes over here, runs behind the island, drops a couple of random torpedoes for good measure, and then the Alaska gets spotted. But that's not it. There's another Alaska going to get spotted. And then, not only that, but we're also going to have an enemy Michelangelo come over. It's kind of crazy over here, I ain't gonna lie. But Alaska number 2 goes full broadside, begging for it out there, and we're just gonna slap him right in the kisser. Took half his hit points right there. 21,000 damage in true Montana style. Now, a lot of people think that I only use, like, pay-to-win commanders and stuff, but as I've shown many a time, and at the beginning of this batch, I showed you guys my build for my Montana currently. It's just a regular old William Sims, Andrew Cunningham, Paolo de Revel. Nothing special about it. It's all free to play. But watch this shot into the superstructure. Wham! Another 13,000 damage. You thought you could angle against me, sunshine? Huh? Huh? You think I'm that dumb? Well, don't worry. Dum-Dum number 3 is about to step up to the plate. Firing HE. We're going to go ahead and put that out, I think.
The ship is on fire.
But Michelangelo sailing full broadside in front of an Alaska, a Mino, and a Montana. I mean, that is a recipe for disaster. And there's other stuff behind us too, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, as you can see, boink, down he goes. Shocker! Who could have seen that coming? But we go ahead and put the fire out now. Now that the threat that was setting fires is gone. You'll see, I want to kind of chase, and then I'm like, okay, these guys are just going to kite away. I wanted to shoot this Alaska, but it's almost like he knows and just starts nosing forward just enough to get out the way. So then I go to shoot this Alaska. Unfortunately, I don't lead him near enough. I mean, we're 19.2 kilometers away, and he's right on the edge of my range anyway, so we just don't have enough room to lead him. And so we don't hit him. But is what it is. Now, do we chase kites, guys? Ever? When is the only time kiting is effective? Anybody? When people chase. Do not chase kites. Alright? Unless it's like the last person alive. Right? But normally, don't chase kites. It just never ends well. All you're doing is taking away your team's effectiveness. You can use your guns much better somewhere else. Now, watch this next shot. You know, this is going to be the epitome of you miss all the shots you don't take, right? Now, I take this look. I'm like, he's sailing basically in a straight line. He's 18 kilometers away. Can I hit him? Wait for it. Boop. I was a little early in the boop, but we knocked out his propulsion. from 18 kilometers away. Don't tell me you can't shoot a destroyer with a battleship, alright? I don't want to hear it. See a destroyer, try to shoot the destroyer. Most of the time. Now watch this Delaware. Like, this guy, this poor guy. He was not ready for this, is what I'm saying. He goes forward a little bit, just kind of creeping. You know, he's just one of those creepy kind of people. It's like quarter speed. And we blap his broadside, and then we send the rear turret of justice and truth over there, and they blap his broadside even more. So with that salvo alone, we put up like 30-some thousand damage. Like, good lord, dude. Absolutely crushed him. Now, notice what I'm doing here. Look at the map. Look at the positioning of the enemy team. We're going to put ourselves in a position, A, to defend the base, if necessary, because somebody's already pinged that the base needs defending. We get a shot here at the Worcester. Unfortunately, Worcester is going to turn away a little bit, which is real unfortunate. I thought I had him, but he turns out enough that we only hit him with a couple of shells, and only 2 of them really do any damage. But not only are we going back to defend the base, but we're also putting ourselves in a position where we can help counter the enemy push, right? There's a battleship over there. Turns out to be a Conqueror. We got to try to help that flank. That flank has asked for help. We're going to try to give it to him. And if we put ourselves in a good position, we can continue to help the left flank, but also help the right flank. Okay? So these are the little things that I pay attention to during a match that a lot of people simply don't. Right? Like paying attention to the map, understanding where the enemy is moving, who needs help where, and how you can position your battleship in a position to assist everybody. Right? Ideally, you want to be in a position where you can keep your gun cycling at all times. You don't want to have long periods of not firing. I apologize. It is literally 4:30 in the morning. I've been playing all morning trying to get an interesting game for you guys, and I've played literally... God, I don't even want to think about how many games I played tonight. Like, so many meh games, so many raffle stomps. Like, it's just been rough. But here, we're going to go ahead and force a shot over the island. Again, miss all the shots you don't take. Might as well take it. He is angled away from us slightly. It's unlikely to do a lot of damage, but I was hoping to catch him for a little bit. And we do get a little chunk off of him. So, overall, not too shabby. But as we cut across the middle here, I want you to pay attention to what happened. My battleship is dead over there, so now it is just the cruiser, and the cruiser's already setting himself up to kite away. Again, I don't necessarily hate this move by the cruiser, because you're a cruiser versus a battleship at the end of the day, so that's going to be a hard fight most of the time, depending on the cruiser and depending on the battleship. But generally, battleship counter cruisers pretty easily. So, especially in a 1v1 scenario. Like, if the cruiser is getting to DACA the battleship and there's other people that the battleship is fighting, that's a different story. But in a 1v1, generally speaking, the battleship has the advantage, right? Now here we've got the Alaska that's been kiting the entire game. He's going to come back. As you can see, we have lost a couple of people on that flank because they were chasing. So, again, don't chase kites, right, guys? But we don't end up getting any damage off of him. We thought we were going to get a good hit, but he ends up getting torped anyway. Delaware is spotted, turned away from us. Again, not the best situation for us because it's difficult to get good, solid hits consistently on these battle carriers. At least for me. Like, I seem to hit everything but where I need to hit. I'll hit the deck and do no damage. I'll hit the turrets and do no damage. I'll hit the belt. Like, I just can't seem to get those shells to punch the freaking raised part of the underneath of the deck, where it's not as well armored. But Conqueror clearly not paying attention too much. I guess he does start to turn away, but I think he does that namely because of the Mino shooting at him. Kind of wish the Mino would have left him alone, because I had a beautiful looking broadside. I just had to wait to get loaded here. Now I am well aware that there's a destroyer off my bow somewhere. So we're expecting torpedoes to be coming in at any moment. But we have a lot of health. We have our damage controls. We got heals. It's not the end of the world as long as we don't take catastrophic damage here. So at the end of the day, we just want to put ourselves in. Speaking of the torpedoes, bonk, bonk. Yep. Not too bad. Stings a little bit, of course. Just as we get ready to shoot, he goes behind the island. Again, I was ready to shoot him, but unfortunately, just not enough. But Conqueror decides at the last second he wants to turn towards me, which raises his citadel out of the water, which is perfect for me because bonk, bonk. Oh no, we got 6 overpins. Sadness. Oh, I thought I was going to get him there, not going to lie. As he was raising that citadel, I thought for sure he was going to get yeeted. Anytime that you're making a turn towards the enemy shells, you're raising your citadel out of the water, making it much easier to get citadel, right? But this time, Conqueror is flat broadside. I mean, you can't get much more of a juicy angle if you ask for it. We don't aim full waterline, but we aim just a little bit above it, and we absolutely yeet the man. But in true Spartan fashion, we gotta leave him with just enough to get away. Meanwhile, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, ain't gonna happen, sunshine. Gonna have to do a little better with your torpedoes. I'm in a Montana. You would think I'd be the easiest thing to torp in the world, but destroyer players just struggle. Now, we get a shot with the rear guns, hoping to kill the Conqueror, and we do get him. But I'm well aware that the destroyer is trying to kite away. He's gonna drop torps on me. Our teammates are capturing the base, and this is what I want you to pay attention to next is, what is the enemy doing here? Like, their base is almost capped. There's clearly a destroyer in there. They have a Kaba left, and the Kaba's last known was right there at the base. And you can see, I was expecting this to happen, but unfortunately just can't get the guns on him in time. Kaba starts shooting me rather than dealing with the person that's in the cap. Like, this is the Spartan effect in full effect, right? Like, what are you doing? He shoots us. We're going to go ahead and start turning away because, again, we know we were spotted. We know that the destroyer's right around the corner. We know that the Delaware's right around the corner. So we're going to put ourselves in a position to dodge torpedoes as well as try to angle against the AP of the Delaware. Here we aim just above the guns, hoping to get some pins, and again, just the worst. Just cannot seem to get good damage against these things at any angle. It just seems, unless they're flat broadside. But yeah, I struggle, man. Every time I shoot at the front of those things, like, it's one of the few times where I consider using HE. Like, if I get a bow in, like, battle carrier. But our team simply captures the base because their destroyers are too focused on trying to get damage than to do their jobs. But we put up 198,000 damage in that lobby, 2,590 base XP, top of the leaderboard, in the Halloween camo for the Montana. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.